Hello and welcome to Network. My name is Sphumelele Zondi with your technology and social media news. Remember that if you want to be a part of this technology conversation, you must hashtag SABC Network. Now you can also find us on the handle SABC Network. That is on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. We're a news network at sabc.co.za on email. Here's what's coming up in the program. We look at ways teachers can be taught how to better use technology and how young people can be given the right digital skills that suit their personalities. 5G devices will start rolling out soon. We ask if Africa will be ready when this happens. Now, with Facebook's troubles over a data breach, we discuss how safe we feel when we share information on social networking sites. Nelisa Ngulana is in studio for that one. Hello.
Hello, Smolin.
Now, Nelisa, should we worry about this in Africa?
Yes, we should. Primarily because we need to make sure that our laws protect us.
All right, hold it there. We'll have a deeper discussion about that later in the program. But first, your technology and social media news. Now, the digital age is upon us. It is up to us as human beings to get as much digital skills as possible so that we can bring relevant contributions into the digital economy. Initiatives such as Think Ahead with Think Code and Vodacom's Future Job Finder portal have come on board in preparing the youth for the fourth industrial revolution.
The introduction of digital classrooms in recent years is a clear indication that South Africa is moving with the rest of the world in the fourth industrial revolution. Programs by private entities such as Everyone Can Code by the Think Ahead initiative also shows that there's a push towards the technological direction that aims to not only prepare students for the digital era, but teachers as well.
Think Ahead, we really believe that everyone can code. And not only everyone can code, everyone should have the opportunity to code. And so there's a new sense of something called multilingualism, which includes coding as a language. It's a new literacy. So what we've done is we work with a curriculum that is accessible, that brings coding to schools. So we do two things. We teach teachers how to teach to code, and we also teach children how to code.
Vodacom has also jumped on the wagon of readying the youth for future jobs. The telecommunications company launched its Digital Skills and Jobs initiative on Tuesday, March 20th.
Already can see the skills shortage that are there in terms of digital roles that we have. I mean, a good example is maybe a data scientist as an example. We know these are the kind of skills that are hard to find. And in truth is that it's better to make sure that we don't look somewhere else for anyone else to come with a solution, but help come with solutions that can actually solve not only our problems, but for the digital economy at large.
We Think Code, a coding initiative, says that they are trying to bridge the digital skills gap by opening up their program to young people from different social backgrounds and those that have little to no coding experience.
What We Think Code does is we're addressing the digital skills gap in South Africa by teaching people how to code and become software engineers. What's amazing is we do it for absolutely free. The only catch is you have to be between 17 and 35 to apply, which I think is a pretty good deal.
One of the successful applicants of the program is this young software engineer from Vosloorus.
I come out of a township in Vosloorus, right? And since, as I was in high school, right, through that change, whatever, I just wanted to do two things. That was to change lives and express myself, right? And I never really had the necessary, money, the financial aid to actually go to university. And that's what we think, I saw this was a perfect path for me.
There are many other young people like Quentin in South Africa who would like to gain digital skills as well as make a change. Only lack of information stands in their way. But with the help of the Think Ahead program, We Think Code, and Vodacom's Future Job Finder portal, they might see an end to this.
The Future Jobs Finder is pretty much a platform which is exclusive for Vodacom subscribers, and you basically log into the Vodacom website and register your name. And the first thing that you do, which I've done as well, it actually takes through a series of tests, which pretty much will help identify through your skills profile, through your behavior, through your aptitude, through things that you are good at. And these are tests that have been designed by occupational psychologists, which means that based on your engagement and what comes out of the tests, you then get recommended careers.
So the way to apply to a course is you do an aptitude test. The aptitude test sees if you can problem solve, and once you pass those tests, we invite you for a 4-week coding boot camp. In this 4 weeks, you're learning the basic coding language, C programming, because we want to see if you can understand the basics. Once you get the basics, then you'll be able to understand all the other languages throughout the course.
Education issues, a British teacher beat many others to scoop top prize at the Global Teachers Awards in the United Arab Emirates. There was a South African teacher nominated as well. Teachers nominated told us how they use technology to assist them in the classroom.
The Global Education and Skills Forum brings together over 2,000 delegates from around the world to solve the big questions in global education. It is held under the patronage of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the UAE and ruler of Dubai. The forum culminates with the Vaki Foundation $1 million teacher prize. How do we prepare young people for the world of 2030 and beyond? This is the focus of the 2018 Global Education and Skills Forum taking place in Dubai. So, what skills are needed for this new world? This question puts technology at the center of the debate. We asked some of the 10 finalists for the $1 million teacher prize to tell us how they have incorporated technology in their respective curriculum.
I take my lessons every day, I film them and I put them on the internet for free. They can reach tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of students across the world, people I could never physically be with, and that's the kind of thing that technology allows me to do.
I'm using digital resources and digital tools every single day. I think that technology can help my students become better digital citizens and global learners, so I've been trying to connect my students with students from all over the world, and we did create lots of global and collaborative projects.
We are entering the fourth industrial revolution, and this is very important for children to learn new skills, flexibility, and a knowledge and a comfort with technology. But we are also mindful that the world is a very unequal place, and that we are also trying by 2030 to make sure that every child has a seat in a classroom.
This year, the lucky winner was
Andrea Zafiraku. Andrea Zafiraku, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2018 Global Teacher Prize.
The community where I teach in Brent is beautifully diverse and indeed is one of the most multicultural communities in the world. Nearly half of our residents were born outside the UK, and over 100 different languages are spoken by our students in our schools. For many of our students, English is not the main language spoken at home. It's also a community where many of our students unfortunately live in challenging circumstances. They have tough lives. They live in crowded homes, and sometimes it's a challenge for them to find peace and a quiet place to study. Others are unable to stay for after-school activities because they are carers or have to look after their younger brothers and sisters whilst their parents go to work.
Oh, congratulations to her. Now, 4G networks are still a myth in many parts of Africa, but there are places in the world that are now laying the foundation for 5G technologies to be introduced. Huawei says they will release their first 5G mobile phone in 2019. Producer Sandile Hlangani is asking if Africa will be ready when this happens.
While projects to start building the next generation mobile networks are years away in many countries, Huawei is forging ahead with plans to launch the first phone with the 5G connectivity in the country next year.
In 2019, some country will deploy the larger commercial 5G network in the urban region. And so this is the reason Huawei will match this requirement for the 5G device, include the wireless router, include the 5G smartphone.
Those in the technology sector in South Africa say the country won't be 5G ready when this happens.
It will be quite interesting to see it come to South Africa in terms of our infrastructure. Are we ready for 5G, to have everything in place to accommodate 5G? So it will be interesting to see how that pans out here.
The implementation of 5G technology needs to be like an industry-wide effort. So I think Huawei cannot possibly do it by themselves. I think they need to get the telcos on board, and I get the sense that the telcos with an Africa-wide reach are more interested in getting 4G and making sure that that technology is as widely available as possible.
But the Chinese technology giant says it won't wait for South Africa to be ready and the country will just have to catch up.
Maybe in the future, South Africa operator will consider to deploy the 5G network in some region, not the every region. But it depends on the investment and the investment return for the 4G.
They have already introduced a 5G chipset that will go into a number of devices.
This chipset will deploy in wireless router, the CPE routers, and support the international 5G standard. In the future, will deploy in 5G smartphone.
Huawei claims that the chipset is the world first that meets 5G standards, and it can hit download speeds of 2.3 gigabytes per second, faster than speeds reached on the current 4G networks.
SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. After the break, we'll chat to Nelisa Ngulana about that Facebook data breach. Stay with us. It is SABC Network on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. News Network at sabc.co.za on email. Now, many have been sharing their shock in various spaces about a massive Facebook data breach. A company called Cambridge Analytica got hold of millions of users' Facebook info. The data is believed to have been used to sway some Americans to vote for Donald Trump. Lawmakers from all over the world are looking at ways of dealing with this. Nonkoma Diwane has this one for us.
According to information provided by a whistleblower, the personal details of 50 million Facebook users in the US were accessed by Cambridge Analytica. While the scandal only affects American Facebook users, the outcry over the breach of privacy has spread globally.
I'm a little bit in two minds about it, to be honest. Obviously, those sort of data leaks shouldn't happen, but if you ever look on your Facebook account, they've got a whole bunch of access to your things anyway.
I'm going to still keep my Facebook account, but I'll just set to the settings to privacy. If they can get through that as well, then I'm leaving it.
If this happens to me, I'll deactivate my account because it is clear that they did not stick to their privacy standards. Our inboxes and profiles should be private and not released. They have clearly invaded our privacy.
Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg has apologized, saying the breach of trust should not have happened. But some analysts say the apology is just not enough.
Facebook allowed a researcher to get far deeper access to information about its users than it would normally give out commercially. This researcher in turn sold the information commercially in violation of Facebook's terms. So one could say that it wasn't Facebook's fault, but they didn't clamp down hard enough.
Israel is the latest to announce that it will investigate Facebook for possible breaches of privacy.
To look at the greater impact of this data breach is Nelisa Ngulana from PR Trends ZA. Hello, and thank you for being a part of our network.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Now, a lot of people we spoke to said if they set their Facebook accounts to private, they think they're safe. Is this true?
No, it's not. Because your information is already there. I mean, when you set your privacy settings, it's just for other people not to access it. But Facebook's already got your information. And the breach is related to how they protect their information, not whether other people have access to it, and how they contract with other people whose applications use their platform. So that's where the breach lies, really.
Let's talk briefly about that. So you're saying it's their contract with, would it be data?
So, for example, on Facebook, we have all these apps that are on Facebook. Like you have like a personality quiz where you do the quiz, right? So the person who holds that data is not Facebook; it's another company, because Facebook does not build those apps. So it's the Facebook third parties that we should be worried about in terms of who's Facebook allowing to interact with our data on the platform, and also, in this case, who else those people interact with using the same data that
we obviously don't know when we take those quizzes that it's actually not...
No, it's not a Facebook thing.
Yeah, it's a third party that we are giving our private information to.
Via Facebook.
Via Facebook, yeah.
Yes. So, so we need to be aware who's accessing. Because also sometimes, you know, when these things pop up, they will ask you your details, or your information is pre-populated, etc. That time, that time when you are answering, you know, yes, I like red, I like black, it's
a
gone.
survey that someone is...
Your data's gone already,
yeah. All right, and how easy then is it for third parties to get our data from? That's one of the ways, but how easy is it, because everyone is trying to figure out how this particular company got hold of information.
Well, Cambridge got the information from this company. They literally bought the data.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I think, I mean, a good local example would be what's happened recently with the DA SMSing people.
Yes.
So there was a bit of an outrage about that, because a lot of people are saying, I'm not a DA member.
How did you get my details? Who gave you my phone number or whatever?
They bought the data from somewhere. So in the South African environment, the difference is that we have the Protection of Personal Information Act, which means that when I give my data to someone, like a Vodacom or, you know, an MTN, I can say, yes, please share my data with third parties. So we need to know, we also need to be a bit vigilant in terms of when we give our information to people, do we tick the box that says, no, I don't want my information to be given? Because there's no way of being able to track where they get your information
from.
But
it becomes slightly tricky, rather, Nelisa, when we are dealing with online spaces where it could be an international company.
So we're not protected there. I mean, our law won't extend to that. That's why I'm saying that it's important for us to to understand the implications. When we give information, we must know that it does not end there. When we put our information on Facebook, Facebook makes money in other ways, and it doesn't end there.
Could Facebook have done more to protect users?
Yes, I feel, well, I mean, they have done more. Firstly, this breach is not a recent thing, right? So it's something that happened in 2015. I mean, the only reason they're even apologizing or even trying to do something about it, well, saying they will do something about it, is because it's out there. But they have made their access to data a little bit stricter since 2014. But the challenge with this company was that it's an app that's been with Facebook before 2014, so where they didn't have more stringent security measures when it comes to data.
How then can our information, for example, be used to sway our thinking to buy a particular product, to, in this case, vote a particular way?
Yeah, so we're very, I mean, in the PR circles, we've been talking a lot about this issue of dark PR in the news, more journalism space. They're talking about fake news because people, I mean, we've had the hashtag ANC War Room scandal was kind of very much a good example of how people can manipulate the narrative. I mean, it can be, I mean, we have elections coming up. Obviously, there's a lot of things at stake for a lot of different people, and it's easy nowadays to manipulate the online space to make people believe a particular narrative. So we're vulnerable in that way, that people can feed us incorrect information that may lead us to make, you know, certain decisions that we wouldn't have made if we knew the truth. So the danger there is that it's becoming very much harder for us to be able to tell what's real and what's not, what's fake and what's not. Now, when we see something on the screen, we need to be able to ask whose agenda, who's doing it, where does it come from? Have I checked the URL? You know, because sometimes even they play around with the URLs as well. You know, you'll see it says, "The South African." It sounds like it's a proper, credible thing, but it's actually not.
It's not, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Nelisa Ngulana from PR Trends ZA, thank you very much for being a part of our network. All right. Now, we caught up with Isidingo star Soso Hungu, and she told us what her favorite piece of technology is.
At least unlike you, you're a failed wife, you're a loser.
Greetings, Molweni, Kamalam Soso Hungu, and I am a performing artist. Yeah. So, I got asked what's my favorite gadget, right? And this is it without the name. This is my phone because besides the obvious, the good picture quality, the good video quality, also because I've got easy access to my emails. I can invoice on my phone without doing much. I can read my scripts on my phone. I can do minutes. I can do a lot of things. Google as well. Research. And also it's very clear with everything that you do.
A woman died of her injuries after being struck by a Uber self-driving vehicle in Arizona, police said on Monday, March 19th. The accident in Tempe, Arizona marked the first fatality from a self-driving vehicle, which are still being tested around the globe and could derail efforts to fast-track the introduction of the new technology in the United States. A spokesman for Uber Technologies Inc. said that the company was suspending its North American tests. In a tweet, Uber expressed its condolences and said that the company was fully cooperating with authorities. And off we go to Indonesia. The country hopes to become Asia's Silicon Valley by opening a digital park to attract high-tech startup companies to Batam Island, about 50 kilometers south of Singapore.
Digital development will be more rapid with foreign capital investment, and Indonesia offers huge potential and opportunities. Indonesia welcomes foreign capital investment in the sector at any size from any place as a sign of confidence in Indonesia's digital future.
Driven by a youthful population of more than 250 million people owning at least 100 million smartphones, Indonesia has seen a rapid growth in the number of startups trying to capitalize on this potential in a growing economy. And now in the US of A, it's been reported that Apple Inc. is developing its own micro-LED device displays and has made small numbers of the screens for testing. The iPhone maker is developing next-generation micro-LED screens at a secret plant in California and has made a huge investment for this, according to the report. The company will aim to use the technology in its wearable computers first, it said.
Right, so this week we are basing our question on the hashtag delete Facebook. It comes as a result of the Facebook data breach that we spoke about with Nelisa Ngulana earlier. Now, 24% of respondents say they've deleted Facebook already. There's also 23% who say they are still thinking about it. 36% say they will not be deleting it. In last place is 17% who say they will log off, but only just for a little while. And that's all we have for you. Find us on SABC Network. Now that's on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. It's News Network at sabc.co.za. On email, we leave you with visuals of a man riding the world's fastest zip line in a jet suit. From me and the rest of the network team, have a good one. Bye-bye.